Hey guys, welcome back to this week's Most Elite podcast. This is a while back I did I told you I would do like a list episode. I couldn't really find a list that really I cared about. So basically, I'm just going to do gaming in 2019. Let's cover some quick things. Oh, gotta see my screen there. Let's cover some things that happened in gaming of 2019. So, yeah, 2019. I mean, would you say it was a flagship year for gaming? Would you say it was like something really important that took place? I don't know, but let's get to covering it. So far, we got what do we got? What happened this year? Sekiro Shadows Die Twice won Game of the Year this year. Call of Duty Mobile won for Mobile Game of the Year. I mean, I guess I'll go over Game of the Year first. Isn't it? I mean, look, I've never played Disco Elysium, but it beat out a lot of games for story and narrative, and I do want to play it. I gotta be honest though, I'm very surprised that Sekiro won Game of the Year. I think it's a fine game, but it is just another Souls game, and Souls games that formula is actually, I guess, infinite. You can sort of do anything you want to it, as long as you tweak it like one or two times. It'll feel like it's not the exact game you played before, and I guess that's the trick. That's the that's definitely the trick to those games. They have to feel like you're not playing the same game. I guess to any game, it has to feel like you're not playing the same game over and over again. When in reality, you are. You are in fact playing the same game over and over again. Sekiro's no different from like Dark Souls or like Bloodborne. It just added two or three things. The grappling arm, that's a big standout. It makes traversing the map much quicker and much easier. It added that you can stand up after dying. And then the other games, you die once, you're done. So I back go virtualized bonfire. But in Sekiro, you can get back up. So that's another thing that's different. Aside from that, it has your basic magic. I call the prosthetics tools magic. Healing items, buffing items, all those games have the same stuff. So it really did surprise me that it won Game of the Year. Like, what about Sekiro made it stand out more than any other game this year? I'll never know. I mean, I found it weird. I never beat Death Stranding, but it won game direction and design. It also Matt Mikkelsen also took the character performance. He's a great actor, so it doesn't surprise me that he would get an award for acting. You know, so I guess that's something. I don't know. What else happened in 2019? Fortnite made over $1 billion, which shouldn't surprise anybody. I mean, it's kind of been doing that since it got its formula down. Since it got its formula down, it's been making billions of dollars. I think gaming in general made 30 billion or some high number. Games make a lot of money. Games are big business. Esports, all that stuff, that's big business, guys. I mean, if you listen to this and you're like upper middle class, just upper class, and you have the money to invest in something, I'm going to say do it in games. Get part of a team, make a team even. It's a lot of money waiting to be had. Man, Jesus, top earners this year. I got a list here in front of me. I mean, I don't know all this stuff off the top of my head. I love games and stuff, but I don't really follow how much the numbers. But look at this list. Dungeon Fighter Online. I've never played it, but I've heard a lot about it. Apparently, it made almost as much as Fortnite, over $1 billion. League, obviously, over $1 billion. Pokemon Go, over $1 billion, huh? Pokemon Go is still going strong. It's crazy. What else happened this year? Bungie split from Activision. They took off. They were tired of Activision taking their money because some genius on Reddit did the math, and Bungie, of course, makes more money now than they ever did with Activision. So I guess they were like, Activision, we don't want them taking our money. And yeah, now the Eververse is running rampant, and you gotta buy cool armor, and there's nothing to earn in game. That's real good stuff, guys. Great content. Their seasonal model is a joke, I think. It doesn't add anything. In fact, when the season's over, it takes stuff out of the game. So far, they've lost Vex Offensive. Who cares? You farmed it 1 billion times, but Sundial, I hear, is all right. I mean, I played it once. I played the Sundial once. I hear it's okay. Has potential. But just like the Infinite Forest thing they did for Halloween that time, with each tier gave you a different modifier, they're going to take it out of the game. And I mean, their excuse is, well, we can't grow Destiny 2 forever. We'll take other stuff out of the game. Take the Red War out of the game. You know, if you haven't played the Red War by now, you haven't played it by now. It's been like 4 years. What are you doing? You know? To take planets that have no purpose out of the game. Mercury, they gave a purpose now, but before this expansion, it served no purpose. They could have took Mercury out of the game completely. But hey, you know, they're going to do what they're going to do. That is so weird to me. I could talk about Destiny 2 forever. As ever. Anyone who listens to this channel knows my feelings on Destiny 2. Respawn did Apex Legends, which, I mean, it overtook Fortnite in terms of popularity. And it was the only actual challenger to Fortnite. And people like PUBG. And like, PUBG has its lane, and it's in its lane. It makes a lot of money and it has its big fans. But like, it didn't produce the effect that Apex did. It didn't produce, like, Fortnite may have a actual challenger effect like Apex did when it came out. And that's saying something, man. It came out of nowhere. It was a surprise release. It was like, go play today. And I was like, what? Play today? So, you know, Activision Blizzard laid off 775 positions this year. 2019. It laid off a lot of people. Mostly from non-developmental sectors like tech support and stuff like that. Outsourced jobs, mostly. You know. Jeez. A lot of stuff. Google Stadia. Oh my goodness. Google Stadia. Anybody play Google Stadia? I don't have one because I don't have any money. But anybody with money, did you get a Stadia? You need the Ultra Chromecast to play it and like burning them out and stuff. Saying its launch was tumultuous would be an understatement. Its launch was certainly something. Here's my feelings on Google Stadia. Game streaming like Stadia, cloud gaming like Stadia, all that stuff. That's the future. It's going to happen. Google Stadia was the first of many that will do it. I do believe Google has the money to turn it around, so they don't have a reason to abandon it. It's coming, and as much as people in general dislike change, not all change is bad. And I think cloud gaming and stuff like that would be a good change. No patches, no updates, stuff like that. I think if we got to that point, we'd be in a good spot with games, because then you could just be like, oh, I want to play that right now. And then it's the instant gratification. Everybody loves instant gratification. And Stadia, or things like Stadia, would allow that if they work. Stadia right now, it partway works. I do believe Google will turn it around. I have zero doubts that it will turn it around. Again, and so moving on, in the year 2019, Reggie Fils-Aimé retired as the president of Nintendo America. And that guy's a legend. You know, he's super famous. He helped steer Nintendo in its direction in America for many, many years. He's replaced by a man named Doug Bowser, which is hilarious because obviously Bowser is the name of Mario's villain. So that's hilarious. And he's been doing good work. Nintendo has always been like playing their own game. They do whatever they want. And even when they fail, like with the Wii U, they're like, so, you know, people don't come down on Nintendo for their failures as much as they come down on like Sony or Xbox. People trashed the PS3 for so long, and the 64 and GameCube. GameCube was a failure. A lot of people don't remember that, but it didn't sell like at all. They had like 25 million or something like that, maybe even lower. Nintendo, they're very streaky with their successes. It'll be like 3DS, big success. Wii U, Switch, huge success. You know, GameCube, and they've always been like that. But the thing is, Nintendo just sort of avoids. They bob and weave any sort of negative press. I don't know how they do it. They got some sort of wizards or warlocks like just protecting them. They got defense barriers up from any sort of negativity, because even when they fail, like they have before, they sort of remain this untouchable icon in the hearts of many Americans and Japanese and people all over the world. And because of that, I think Nintendo is the most free of the console juggernauts. I think that they can, as I said, they can literally do whatever they want. like zero risk. Even they can take big. The one thing Nintendo can do that most of these developers now on the bigger two console juggernauts, they take risk. And I did a video before about how there's more companies need to take a risk. Nintendo take a risk. Now, often they do hide in their familiarity, and they hide behind their first party IPs to protect them, give them a financial shield as well as a public perception shield. But they do take risk. Like No More Heroes, what the hell is that? You know, they do weird stuff all the time. And that's much to their credit. Pikmin, come on, Pikmin was a mega success. It shouldn't have been. What is Pikmin? You pick plant guys up and you got little plant dudes. That shouldn't have been a success. Animal Crossing, come on. Those things are big risk that paid off in big ways, and Nintendo keeps pushing the envelope like that. So of course they get their sequels, but while they're getting their sequels, Nintendo continue to make games that are strange and out there and weird. And because of that, they're rewarded. Nintendo proves my theory that people like risking games. We don't want the same stuff over and over again. Some of us do, and some of us get it. You know, we get our Maddens and our Call of Duties and our Gears of Wars at this point. But we want other stuff too. I think it was an article written that said 40% of people who have a Switch also have the other consoles. They treat the Switch as a supplemental console, but they still have it. You know, I got one here. I'm looking right at it, and it's sitting right next to a PS4. You know, I have the PS4, but right next to it is the Switch because, like, yeah, it offers something that the other ones don't offer, and that's something a lot of gamers are looking towards. So if any executives listening, you know, try to push like weird stuff. Weird stuff pays off. Whatever's happened in 2019. Epic Games bought the Rocket League guys. Microsoft did the all digital Xbox, so it was like no disk drive. I don't know the numbers for that because Microsoft stopped doing their numbers when it was clear that they wouldn't sell as much as the PS4. So I don't know the numbers. I think it did okay. I honestly don't know. I hope it did okay. You know. Kaz Hirai retired from Sony. He was there for 35 years. He was the CEO. He was the chairman for 6 years. So he left Sony in 2019. Man, so much happened. Oh, Sony Entertainment America bought Insomniac Games. So the guys who did, was it Spider-Man? Sony owns them now. So of course you can bet your bottom dollar that Spider-Man 2 will be a PS5 exclusive. The Gamescom happened. A whole bunch of like tournaments happened in 2019. Tokyo Game Show took place. Apple Arcade launched in 2019. I don't own an iPhone, and I don't own iProducts really for the most part. So I don't know how good the games are on Apple Arcade. I do know that some trailers for the games look super, super cool, and I wish I had an iDevice to play them. Man. Oh, Sean Layden left Sony as CEO. He left, and that was certainly something in 2019. Blizzard got protested in 2019 because they were pro Hong Kong. Jesus, so much happened in 2019. Electronic Arts, they're going to publish games on Steam after doing their Origin service only. Diablo 4 got announced in 2019, which makes me happy because I really do want to play another Diablo game. The Series X was announced at the end of the year. PS5 logo was announced, but it wasn't in 2019. I mean, the Oculus Quest came out. For those who don't know, it's like a more mobile Oculus. And I think Facebook owns the Oculus right now, so I think they make all the money off of that. So that's pretty cool. Switch Lite came out, which is a portable only Switch, the Nintendo Switch console. I mean, I have the traditional Switch, so I wouldn't buy a Switch Lite because I only play the Switch on the TV. And that's it right there. That's the only reason I wouldn't buy it. Aside from that, I'm sure it's great. It can't play games that require the Joy-Cons unless you play with Joy-Cons paired to it, off of it, which would be weird. At that point, why aren't you just playing on your TV? So, Switch Lite is not for me. I'm sure those who have it and buy it love it, but for me, it was like, I don't know about this. Lots of games came out. I couldn't possibly list them all. I'll do big titles, I guess. To me, Tales of Vesperia Definitive Edition. A lot of people, myself included, think Tales of Vesperia is one of the better Tales games because it featured a main character who wasn't a hero. I guess people are tired of heroes, huh? Like, look at the show like The Mandalorian. The Mandalorian's not a hero. And I think that's helped sell the show. Same thing for Tales of Vesperia. Ace Combat, after years of no Ace Combat, we got an Ace Combat, which is pretty cool. Resident Evil 2, which is my favorite game of the year, came out. The remake of Resident Evil 2, I did an entire video on it. I loved it. I'm not going to list all these games, there's too many. But 2019 has been weird. 2019 has been weird for games. There has been great titles, but not so many like fantastic, like over the moon must have titles like some would say 2018 had. I think it's been all right. I do hope that with the new console generation, we'll get those fantastic must have everybody talks about titles. It's been years. People still talk about Horizon. People still talk about God of War. And I'm sure in the years to come, people will still talk about Spider-Man. Which I'm pretty sure was a 2018 title. So yeah, 2019 had a lot of good games, but none that really like jumped off the page. It had a lot of stellar failures. Anthem. I can't ever get over Anthem. I really wanted to believe, and that was my problem. Division 2 was all right. You know, its audience is dwindling from the last I checked. Destiny 2 is continuing its whatever it's continuing. A lot of good games though. Outer Worlds, I did a video on that. The Outer Wilds, I haven't done a video on that yet. I don't own it just yet, but I hear great things. Yoshi's Crafted World, again, a Nintendo hiding behind their first parties, but what are you gonna do? Some of those games are still good. I don't know. I think 2019 has been weird for games. Like the fact that I can't name like 10 Control, I think it's a fantastic game. Jedi Fallen Order, I think is a fantastic game. Yeah, I can't really name the Mortal Kombat 11. That's great. Yeah, that sort of speaks to what I mean. 2019 has been more about like controversies and events than it has been about the games, which I guess, cycling back to the beginning of this video, is the reason Sekiro won sort of game of the year. Because what the hell, what came out this year aside from great indie games? A lot of good indie games, Slay the Spire, stuff like that. Disco Elysium, again, mentioning, I haven't played it, but I mean, I hear it's fantastic. So I don't know. Strange that a lot of stuff I was waiting for came out this year. Bloodstained came out. I did a video on that. I loved it. I'm just a Metroidvania fan though, so I don't know if that counts. I don't know. I mean, Final Fantasy got another great update, but that's not a new game. That's just an update. I don't know. 2019 has been weird. Wow. Never really hit me until just now when I sit down to do this video that 2019 hasn't had really any... It has had them, but not many versus the previous years of gaming that we're used to. That's some weird stuff. Wow. Never thought of that. I like the Astral Chain, but is it a breakout title? No, it's not. It's an action game. And if you don't have a Pro Controller, I don't even know how you're playing it, to be honest. You know what I mean? A lot of good indie games. Children of Morta, stuff like that broke out, stand out. Gears 5 made a lot of money. So, excuse me, I'll count that as a breakout title. It made a lot of money for the Xbox. Well, regardless, 2019 has been strange. I think that concludes my video this time. 2019 has been a weird year for gaming. Just overall. Not just the games that have come out, but just gaming. And I mean, it's sort of building up the anticipation of the next console generation. And where do we go from here? What is next? My friend, Most Elite Gaming, he would say, full dive. We're going right in. We're going to be in the games next. And honestly, if that's next, sign me up, because right now the state of gaming is just weird. Maybe that'll be the perfect escape, you know. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. We'll get more videos this week. Yeah, thank you guys.